Here is a question that has confused a lot of people over 60. You have been told for years that protein builds muscle. So you buy the powder, you eat the chicken, you drink the shake, and then you look in the mirror, or you try to stand up out of a chair, and the muscle is still going, still shrinking. Why? If protein is the building block, why isn't it building anything? The answer is uncomfortable, and it is the reason so many people waste years doing the wrong thing. The truth is this: protein is not what builds muscle. Protein is only the raw material, and raw material on its own never built anything. Today I want to show you what actually rebuilds muscle after 60, and why the thing you have been neglecting is the very thing that determines whether any of that protein ever gets used. Stay with me until the very end, because the last part is a simple weekly plan that takes less time than you think, and it is the difference between holding on to your independence and slowly losing it. After the age of 60, the body begins to lose muscle at a rate that surprises most people. There is a name for it: sarcopenia. Left alone, it steals strength quietly, year after year. You might not notice it month to month, but you notice it the day a grandchild runs to you and you hesitate before lifting them, or the day you struggle to get up off the floor. Now here is the part almost nobody explains. Your muscles do not grow simply because you fed them protein. They grow in response to a signal, a demand placed on them. Protein is the bricks, but bricks do not assemble themselves into a wall. You need a builder, and the builder is effort. This is the single idea that changes everything, so let us walk through it carefully. The first thing to understand is something called anabolic resistance. It is a fancy term for a simple problem. When you are young, a serving of protein sends a strong signal to your muscles to grow. But after 60, your muscles become harder of hearing. The same serving of protein produces a much weaker growth signal than it used to. This is why a younger person can maintain muscle almost effortlessly, while an older person doing the exact same thing slowly loses ground. The muscle simply stops responding to protein the way it once did. So what do people do? They double down on protein. More shakes, more meat, more supplements, and they still lose muscle because they are pouring more bricks onto the site, but nobody showed up to build. The missing piece is not more protein. The missing piece is the demand. And that brings us to the thing that actually works. Here is the real mechanism, and I want you to hear it clearly. Muscle is built by tension. When you challenge a muscle, when you lift something heavy enough that the last few repetitions are genuinely difficult, you are sending your body an urgent message. This muscle is not strong enough for what is being asked of it. Build more. That message is what turns protein into muscle. Without that demand, the protein you eat simply gets used for other things, or stored, or passed through. So the single most important thing you can do for your muscle after 60 is not to eat more protein. It is to regularly place a real demand on your muscles. Notice I said regularly, and I said real. A gentle stroll is wonderful for your heart, but it is not enough of a demand to trigger muscle growth. You need resistance, lifting, pushing, pulling, done with enough effort that your muscles actually have to work near their limit. This is not about becoming a bodybuilder. It is about 2 or 3 short sessions a week where your muscles are pushed just past comfortable. One of my patients, a man in his early 70s, came to me discouraged because he had been drinking protein shakes every day for a year and felt no stronger. I asked him one question: when was the last time you lifted something that made your muscles tremble? He could not remember. We added 2 resistance sessions a week. 3 months later, he was not just stronger, the shakes finally started to work. That is the point. Protein is a partner, not the hero. Before I give you the protein rules and the weekly plan, let me pause and speak with you for a moment. If any of this is helping you understand your own body better, a like genuinely helps more people over 60 find this practical guidance, and it tells me to keep making it. Now, protein still matters. Let me show you exactly how to use it, now that you understand the demand comes first. I do not want you to walk away thinking protein is unimportant. It is essential. It is simply the second step, not the first. And after 60, the rules for it change in 3 specific ways. First, the amount. Because of that anabolic resistance we talked about, your body needs more protein per meal to get the same growth signal, roughly 25 to 35 grams of high-quality protein in a sitting, not a little sprinkle here and there. Second, the quality. Not all protein is equal. You want protein rich in a specific amino acid called leucine, the one that acts as the switch that turns muscle building on. Eggs, dairy, lean meat, fish, and soy are the strongest sources. Third, the timing. Spread that protein across your day with a good dose at every meal, especially in the morning and around your training, when the muscle is most ready to use it. But remember the order. Protein after the demand, not instead of it. The bricks arrive after the builder has been called. Let me give you something you can start this week. It does not require a gym, and it does not require hours. First, 2 or 3 days a week, do 20 to 30 minutes of resistance work. It can be sit-to-stands from a chair holding a weight, wall push-ups, resistance band rows, or light dumbbells. The key is that the last few repetitions of each set feel challenging. That is the demand. Second, on those days and every day, aim for 25 to 35 grams of protein at each main meal from real high-quality sources. Third, do not skip the days of rest. Muscle is actually built in the recovery between sessions, not during the session itself. That is it. Demand first, protein second, rest third. Most people over 60 are doing the protein part and missing the demand part entirely. Flip the order and everything you have been eating finally starts to work. It is the simplest change I know that pays back for years. Here is what I want you to remember. Your muscle is not disappearing because you are failing to feed it. It is disappearing because it is no longer being asked to be strong. The good news is that this is entirely within your control. Demand first, protein second, rest third. Start small. 1 session this week with the last few repetitions genuinely hard. Then build from there. The strength you hold on to today is the independence you keep tomorrow. So my question for you is simple. When was the last time you asked your muscles to work near their limit? Tell me in the comments. I read every one. If this helped you, please give it a like. Share it with someone who has been drinking the shakes and wondering why nothing changes. And subscribe for more practical guidance on staying strong after 60. Because most people are never told the order, and it makes all the difference.